Hello dear friends, in this video we will talk about the upcoming new moon in Leo happening on the 8th of August 2021. This new moon is very interesting because it will give us opportunities to start new things and to expand and to grow and to take some action and also get some concrete results. But we also need to discuss the possible challenges that are coming because this new moon is also part of a more intense astrology configuration, which we need to discuss. So in this video, we will start with the general impact of the new moon, what is specific about this one, how you can really take advantage, how you can use it. And also we are going to cover a very short description for each zodiac sign. Make sure to check your sun and rising sign to see in which life area you may start something and grow it and expand it, and most importantly, have some joy. The most important about this new moon is that it is triggering the sign of Leo. And it also means that the sun is coming home. During this month, the sun will be in Leo most of the time, and this is the strongest and most comfortable position for the sun. It is the brightest time, it is the time when we can be most creative. It's also time to have some fun and enjoy the things that we do, and also pay attention to our own desires. A new moon always represents a conjunction between the sun and the moon, which is also the beginning of a new lunar cycle. And this is the best time to set intentions for the things that you want to manifest in your life. It's also important that on the new moon, exactly on this day, on the 8th of August, the moon is invisible. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do everything on this particular day. Actually, it's quite the opposite. What you need to do is set clear intentions. Be specific about what is it that you truly want, what are you most passionate about, what are your biggest desires. And then when you are concrete about your desires, you can make a plan or just set the intention about this. And then in the following days, you can make some steps and take some action. But on the new moon, the most important is the focus and the intention. Leo is also a sign which is related to self-expression. So one of the biggest topics after this new moon will be how to express yourself creatively. And topics like boundaries, limitations, restrictions are also very important because there are certain aspects that trigger this position. And now I would like to show you actually how this new moon looks like. You can see that the exact degree of the new moon is 17 degrees. And it's very important to check if you have any personal planets or cusps of houses around this degree plus minus 5. So if that's the case, this new moon is activating this part of your chart, and it's a great period for you to focus on that and to take some action and explore what is it that you truly want in regards to this particular topic. Another thing which is also important is that this new moon is triggering fire signs. It triggers the sign of Leo. And actually we have a stellium in Leo. The sun, the moon, and Mercury are all in Leo. And the fire energy always brings courage and strong desire and passion, and one of my favorites, enthusiasm. So open to be more receptive, to explore what are you most enthusiastic about, and take action from this enthusiastic place. Also, again, I'm repeating, don't forget to do the things that you also enjoy, the things that are pleasant for you, the things that you are passionate about. What's also important about this new moon is that the dominant element is the earth element. So we have 3 fire planets, including the new moon planets, but on the other side we have 4 earth planets, and they dominate. Venus, Mars, Uranus, and Pluto are in earth signs. And the earth energy, first of all, can bring us more stability. It's important to connect with your body, to be more grounded, to be also more practical, concrete, organized, and to pursue some visible, tangible results. Another thing that's interesting is that the fire and the earth element, those which are the most triggered actually by this new moon, are also called constructive signs. And constructive signs are all about achievements. They are about engaging with the external world, pursuing some kind of goal, and achieving concrete results. So one of the main things about this new moon is take action and have the intention to achieve something practical and visible. It's not just the time to process things or dream about things or visualize them. No, you need to be specific, concrete, engaged with the reality and the material world, and take some action. That's how this new moon can bring you success. Now, also we need to discuss the astrology configuration that this new moon is part of. We have what we call in astrology a Tau square. A Tau square is a challenging configuration which also brings incredible potential and strength. And it includes 2 square aspects and 1 opposition. And literally it looks like a triangle configuration. And the most important is actually the square between Uranus and Saturn. Those are the 2 planets which are also engaged in this new moon. And this square between Saturn and Uranus has been something that we've been dealing with pretty much during the whole year. And now that when the new moon is also part of this, with some challenging aspects, of course, we can experience some kind of peak of this energy and we can transform it. We can do something about it. I'm not promising rainbows and unicorns. I'm not promising that things will happen out of nowhere. That will most likely not gonna happen with this Tau square. But if you are really motivated and committed, you will achieve some important results. And here, the key conflict is between Saturn and Uranus because they are so different. Saturn is the planet related to keeping things the way they are and having stability and being responsible. On the other side, Uranus is about change and innovation, about taking risk, doing something for the first time, being brave, opening oneself to the future. And we have a conflict between those 2 needs. So certainty and uncertainty, the desire to keep things the way they are or maybe change them. And this new moon is reinforcing the initial square between Saturn and Uranus. And we may feel like we are somewhere in the middle. From one side, we want to have more stability, we want to have more certainty, we want to rely more on the things that are well known and avoid the change perhaps. But on the other side, Uranus can push us and we may feel restless and we may feel like it's scary, but I also need to make this happen. I need to take this risk. I need to try something new. And keep in mind that the focal point of this Tau square is Uranus. And yes, we are talking about the new moon, and it's a very important thing when it comes to the general cycles. But this new moon brings more focus to Uranus, because Uranus is the focal point. And Uranus is about change, innovation, experimenting, freedom, and trying new things. So the right approach here is, first of all, to respect Saturn. So we need to keep certain level of cautiousness. We need to be careful. We need to take it slow, perhaps, but we need to move in a new direction. It's time for a change. It's time to do something that perhaps you feel uncomfortable with, but yet you know that it's very important for you and it can change many things in your life. So in a cautious way, we need to make those changes happen. Be prepared that there might be some kind of surprises. There might be something unexpected. There might be also something that will slow down the process or will require extra work and more consistency. And frankly, we may need to overcome some challenges and difficulties. But again, I want to remind you that a Tau square is not just a difficult configuration. It's a configuration which can bring us results and strength and resources. And again, this new moon triggers the constructive signs. So it's about engaging with the outer world and doing something and coming from the place of what is it that I really want. Overall, this Tau square is triggering fixed signs. So obviously the new moon, which is in Leo, Uranus, which is in Taurus, and Saturn, which is in Aquarius. And the fixed modality is related to our heart and our desires. So that's a major topic, such an important topic. And we actually have 6 planets out of 10 in this modality, in the fixed modality. We have also Jupiter and Mercury in fixed modality signs. So this may also slow things down, but it's also important what we really want. And maybe you have heard this idea that the more you really want something, the more you can actually manifest it and attract it in your life. This is so true about this new moon. So again, I want to invite you to come from a place of what is it that I really want, not what I believe I should be doing or what other people expect me to do, or it's kind of like socially accepted to do. That won't work. It's about your heart and listening to your own truth, your own desires, and respecting them and doing something about them. And sometimes new moons like this can bring pivotal changes and huge transformations, and they can really turn your life upside down and move it in another direction. But that's not always the case. Sometimes the minor changes are the ones that make things happen over the long run. So you need to explore your own situation. If there is something that is really triggered by this new moon in your chart and overall you feel restless and like it's time, then yeah, it could be big for you. But even if it's not so big as a change and transformation, you can still focus on something that will make your life better by making small changes and also by listening to your own desires. The other aspects that are also part of this new moon come from Venus and Neptune. Both of those planets are having creative aspects with the new moon. And those are two emotional planets. So again, it's very important how you feel, what you want, and also to be creative, to listen to your intuition, to Think about the things that you are most inspired by. That's how we achieve success. And Saturn is having this opposition with the new moon. It's very powerful, it's very important. And it's true that it can bring us difficulties and delays, but it also means that perhaps we need to look at things from a different perspective, especially when it comes to our responsibilities or some kind of rules that we have committed to, or just requirements that society has for us. Look at that from a different angle. Look at that from a different perspective. You may reassess all of that. And I'm not saying that you should not respect the socially accepted rules or other things that are necessary for our good, but sometimes we allow certain prejudice or the expectations of other people to affect our lives and our actions. So my invitation is to look at that from a different perspective and pay most attention to the things that you really want. And now let's say a couple of words about each of the signs. So again, make sure to check your sun and rising sign in order to understand in which life area is mostly beneficial for you to focus on and start something new, especially something that you are passionate about and something that you deeply want. For Aries, this new moon will be especially positive and beneficial. It triggers your 5th house, which means that you can do something creative. You can do something that will bring you real joy. It could be related to art or love or children, or just doing something that you enjoy, something as a hobby, something that brings you pleasure. For Taurus, the new moon will trigger 4th house, which brings major focus to their family environment, their home, the family situation, and properties. How you can take action in this area. What is it that you can do to improve this area? You can be more creative and enthusiastic to make those changes happen. For Gemini, the new moon will trigger 3rd house, which can bring focus to the area of communication and connection with other people, new ideas, new knowledge and information, and overall the ability to be more present. For Cancer, the new moon will trigger 2nd house, so it's really time to focus on practical, concrete tasks, something that you can put into an actual form, especially related to financial things and your energy and resources. For Leo, of course, this new moon is such a big deal. It triggers your own sign, especially if you have your sun or rising sign between the 12th and the 22nd degree of Leo, or if you are born, let's say, between the 2nd, the 3rd of August until the 13th of August, then this new moon is so important for you, and you have to bring all of your attention to yourself. Everything that you want to do, everything that brings you joy, stepping up and being brave and opening up for new things. For Virgo, this new moon will trigger 12th house, which is related to some kind of psychological processes, some kind of internal transformations, looking at things from a different perspective, especially when it comes to the past or certain memories or some kind of psychological and emotional situations. For Libra, the new moon will trigger 11th house, which will activate your social life, your ability to connect with your community or your friends and engage with others and do something together or focus on some kind of social cause. For Scorpio, the new moon is especially important when it comes to career, business, work opportunities, communication with important people, or some kind of authority figures. And most importantly, whatever you do, you have to make it visible for others. You shouldn't be afraid of receiving the attention or other people judging you or seeking too much the validation of others. You have to express yourself creatively without seeking approval and validation from other people. For Sagittarius, this new moon will be especially positive. It will trigger your long-term goals. It's a great time to look at the future and consider what is it that you want the most. Great time to receive new knowledge, new education, more wisdom, and overall to focus on your personal philosophy. For Capricorn, the new moon will trigger 8th house, which will activate some deep and serious topics related to transformations, energy work, healing, and also resources. You need to manage the resources that you can receive from other people or some kind of mutual resources as well. For Aquarius, the new moon will trigger 7th house, which is especially beneficial for relationships and love, perhaps for some people even marriage, and overall connecting to the other person next to you. For Pisces, the new moon triggers 6th house, which will bring the focus to your work, your daily routines, your health, and also everything that you are planning and scheduling in your life. So focus on practicality, concrete results, and also serving and helping other people as well. So that was the brief prediction for each sign. Again, please remember the most important is to do the things that you are most passionate and excited about. That's how you will achieve the most significant success. Listen to your heart. Thank you so much for joining me. If you want more information, you can go to marsstars.net. We have plenty of free resources there. We also have different courses and personal astrology readings, which are available as well. If you are new here, you can subscribe and receive notifications for everything that I am publishing, and I'm publishing a lot of free content. So, happy new moon to everyone. Let me know in the comments what is triggered in your chart and how you are gonna do the best with this new moon.